Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily. Des here. Thursday thoughts. Your questions answered. Of course, I'm live. I'm back after last week. Really difficult on the beach to maintain my concentration and get out all the answers I wanted to, but I think it was a pretty good video nonetheless. So happy to be back at the table, concentrating a bit more on what I'm doing rather than the wind and all those things that were getting in the way. And like I said before, my best James Blunt impression, although I am missing it already. Caton Bay. Mentioned this week already, it's been a bit tricky, been a bit flat this week after last week. Really good week, and of course, lots to deal with right now. But I've had a cracking day today. Really, real good one. Lots of activity. Feeling positive about what I'm doing again. And I think it all boils down to the fact that for the first time this week, I actually arranged to meet somebody early. Got up. I have been getting up a bit earlier, but I managed to get out at 6:30. Met a friend to go for a run. Pretty decent one as well. Nothing special, but it's really put me in the right frame of mind. And all these things I keep saying about getting up early and wanting to do all these things, really showing how much it works today. You know, whilst I've been continuing with the things I do this week, it's been hard to motivate myself, hard to get going. And once I've done it and got that initial buzz from it, it's been wearing off pretty quickly. But today, because I actually got up, like I say, met somebody, got out there for a run, got my 5K in before breakfast, it's made me really look forward to everything else. Just been out now. The reason I'm a touch late is I've just finished an 8-mile walk, one of my favourite routes around Home Pierpont in Nottingham. So really enjoyed that. And then it's an amazing day for September. Summer's stretching out, so just making the most of it. Like I said, I think it was really important to make myself accountable, and that's what I'd probably been lacking in this week. You know, like I say, whilst I've been getting up, whilst I've been doing different things, it's having that to aim for. To be honest, I'll be really honest with you. This last night after I arranged to run, I was thinking about sending a text message. My injury's been sort of niggling away at me. It's been in my mind, perhaps in my mind more than anywhere, to be honest. And I thought about sending a text before I went to sleep to cancel that. When I got up, I didn't feel fantastic, but as soon as I done it, you know, it felt good again, and it felt like I was back on track. I'm really wanting to sort of crack on with everything and attack the rest of the week and look forward to Friday, of course, and waking up to walk tomorrow. But it was just so important to do that, and I can't emphasize that enough. You know, it's really, as much as it ever has today, it's really sort of dawned on me how important it is to get up. And whilst I've been pretty good at it in the last couple of weeks, it's just sort of it means more already because I've seen such a change today. As ever, got the usual mix of questions, some serious, some not so, even a cheesy one from Simon, but we'll come to that later. Thanks for those. Thanks for all the comments. Obviously, I can only do the question and answers if people keep posting those in. So I really appreciate the input, and can't thank you enough for getting involved and supporting what I'm trying to do here. Of course, I always say it's not going to blow your mind. Just little bits of information, little tips, little what's my favourite, this, that, or the other. You know, just something that might inspire you, and that's all we're trying to do through this. You know, I'm not trying to tell you anything you don't know. Just remind you, like I've had to remind myself today. You know, of some of the things I've said. I watch lots of things. I talk about it a lot more than I've done, but I need to be reminded all the time. I need to keep reminding myself how important it is just to keep going. But that's the point. The point is just to sort of inspire and motivate people and just get them thinking. You know, when we have a moments where we're not quite thinking along the right lines, sometimes somebody just offering us a little nugget of information is just the tonic we need just to sort of persevere and carry on in our daily lives and carry on pushing ourselves to be better, you know, to stay active, to stay healthy, and to stay on top of our own mental health, and during this difficult time, that's particularly important, isn't it? It's getting tough again. These lockdowns are starting to sort of spring up again and sort of climbing back on top of us. And it's really important for us to stay focused on some of the things that have got us to this point. Lots of people have made a great effort to not let lockdown get the better of them. Lots of people in the DOdaily community, lots of people doing stuff, to support others. And we've just got to remember, let's not give up all that good work. It's not quite over yet. We all wish it was, but if we maintain that good work, it'll be a lot easier to deal with in the interim period. So it's all about inspiration. And of course, last week I was at Caton Bay, and I explained how much I enjoyed that place. I don't think I can explain it enough. I plan to go back very soon, and perhaps quite often as well. Really, really found somewhere that I fell in love with, and really, really inspired me. And the quietness and the cliffs and the beach and the way it was all enclosed, it felt like a little hidden gem, where I could go and sort of reinvigorate myself, sort of collect all my thoughts and really focus on what I want to do. And even doing something like this daily, which gives me the structure and routine, it gets hard to stay focused sometimes with busy lives and things going on. So just get in there. But it really did inspire me. And of course, at the end of last week's episode on Thursday, what I asked you guys was the throwback question was, where really inspires you? Which place in the world or for whatever reason really inspires you? And I got some great answers come through. John, he says, without a doubt, Wasili and Worm's Head in the Gower Peninsula in South Wales. He says there's amazing scenery and a great beach to walk or run along. And it's his go-to place back in his motherlands. I know his parents are from South Wales and he's got Welsh heritage. So sounds amazing. It's a place I've not been, Wales. I'm really looking forward to now. I'm sort of thinking of all these different and new places to go. It's somewhere I really want to visit. I know another DOdaily member went there a couple of weeks ago and the pictures looked amazing. So love to go myself. All of Wales, I've never been for a holiday. Dawn says Cromer in Norfolk. She visited, and the reason because she visited every year as a child, and it hasn't really changed. Beautiful scenery and very flat. I think the very flat comment is might be aimed at me sometimes when I get them running in the group. I tend to take them up hills and get them working hard. But of course, Norfolk is very flat, and it's somewhere I'm going to soon. Actually, someone else has invited us to stay with them, which is my parents, who was away with Kay's parents before. And I'm really, really looking forward to getting out and visiting some of the little seaside towns along that coast as well. Somewhere I went as a child to Great Yarmouth. I still remember it, strangely enough, little bits of it, but not enough to sort of appreciate its beauty and what's there. So really looking forward to getting back there soon and checking it out. Davna said she said she'd been really inspired by some of the places I visited, and she's looking forward to going to visit some of them very soon. Well, thanks for that, Davna. That's all I'm trying to do, of course, is just remind people of what's available, and she said some of the places I've been on Friday morning. I know she's already been, to some of the parks locally and some of those places. Not being originally from Nottingham, I'm alerting her to some of these. So that's exactly what it's about. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Kay said a great place that inspires her personally is Forest Recreation Ground in Nottingham. It's where she started running, and what a journey that's been. Of course, we all remember where we picked up running and some of the routes we took initially that got us into this fine habit we love and getting active. And of course, open spaces are fantastic, and that's what Fridays are all about. I've been to Forest Rec with Wake Up to Walk, so check that episode out. It's really sort of good open space in the centre of Nottingham. There's lots of sporting heritage. It was the first place Nottingham Forest played, used to be a race course as well, I believe, and lots of cricket played there back in the 18th century. And of course, the site for Goose Fair, many people might be inspired by that. One of the big events in Nottingham, one of the big events locally, absolutely huge. Been going for 700 years. Not many things stop it, but unfortunately, as ever, COVID has. I think it ran through the wars as well. So that's a shame, but of course, it's a great place to visit. And Ben says the Lake Districts is an amazing place to run or walk. I know Ben personally, and I know he does a lot of running. Ben's into his ultras and climbing up big hills and doing lots of miles, and what a place to do it. I'd love to get to that and visit some of that too. And another place I've never been, and I really need to see now. I've got this newfound love for walking and scenery and views and all these things. And he says further afield, I think it's pronounced Otago Peninsula in New Zealand is pretty special. There's not many places in the world where you can run past sea lions on the beach. I guess there's not. I didn't know there was anywhere in the world. So that must be pretty special. And I know Ben has been there in the last few years. So all great places, all fantastic. I'd love to visit most of them. There's only a couple on there I've actually been to. So definitely keep posting those in. That's what it's all about. Like I say, before I answer these questions, I'll be back tomorrow from a different location. I've already got that planned, and it's just about telling people what we're doing, showing what we're doing, using that in such a positive way, to encourage people to be active. Whilst people are out in those places, they're walking, they're running, they're taking in all those health benefits of fresh air, and that's absolutely fantastic. I've just said there, I've been to a place at Home Pierpont. I only went out for an hour max, and I've ended up walking for 3 hours and done 8 miles, because I followed the path and I kept going, and then I wanted to take more pictures. Places I've got pictures of, but just places that really look amazing and really easy on the eye. So it's really important for us to enjoy what's around us and the surroundings. Anyway, on to the questions. Like I say, there's a bit of a mix in these today. That's absolutely brilliant. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But to start with, I'm going to sort of answer a question. What I finished off with last night when I was chatting away on Wednesday workout. Basically, I was talking about I used me not drinking for 100 days as an example to a point I'd made, and on the back of that, Dawn's asked a question saying that basically I'm coming to the end of that. I think today's day 95. She said, considering the way I've approached it and the feeling and the benefits I'm getting from it, and seeing what difference it makes, would I consider doing 100 days? First of all, when she sent me that question, I won't tell you my initial response. It was 2 words, to be honest. But not really. I'd actually thought about it not long before she sent the question. Genuinely thought, could I do this for another 100 days? If I said I could do it, I would do it, because that's the way I am. That's the way I sort of approach things. The reason I put so much out there, the reason I talk, I try to be honest and relatable. All the stuff I do through DOdaily and set challenges and different things is to also get myself ticking. I don't like, as much as most people, I don't like quitting or saying I couldn't do it. So it's one way to sort of motivate and inspire myself. That said, I'm not going to go another 100 days. I'm going to enjoy the fact I've done 100 days, and it's been really tough. We've started lockdown. I was enjoying a few extra drinks at the weekend. We was at home. We was listening to different things on the radio, creating our own little party environment. And it was really nice. We would sat outside enjoying the sun, and I've kind of missed that, and I've missed the social side since everything started opening up again. So whilst it's been a bit of an eye-opener. I've realised I can sort of go about it a little bit more, and I really want to, because it has made a difference. The reason I did it in the first place was because I wasn't feeling fantastic. I'd not long had my operation when I started, and it was just, the pain was niggling away. Them kind of pains have disappeared now. I've lost a bit of weight, not quite as much as I wanted to, but I've lost over a stone, which is really important to me. And to keep getting that off, I'm going to have to make some sort of change. My thought is about drinking on big occasions. Initially I'll have a couple first week, and then I'll have to calm myself down. I said yesterday, it'd be easy not to think about it and just then go straight into it and sort of ruin all that good work. So whilst I'm not going to go another 100 days just yet, Kay said to me today, if I did go 100 days, it would be 2 days after Christmas. And I don't really want to do that. I spent last December without drinking all the way up till Christmas because I was in a bad way with my illness, with my gallbladder. So it'd be nice to enjoy the festive period, enjoy the dark nights coming in, and if we are going to go into lockdown again, just that little indulgence, perhaps just at the weekend, perhaps just on big occasions, but it's something I'm really looking forward to. We're all allowed to treat ourselves. The next question, bit more sort of activity related, and my thoughts on this. Because I'm a walk and because of getting out there, I've not had a chance to look into the technical side of this. But Rachel asked, she says basically, I've recently added strength and core training, including yoga and Pilates, as well as cycling to my weekly training. The impact of this is that I run slightly less. What are your thoughts on that balance with regards to output, injury, and well-being? Well, the first thing I say about that, Rachel, is basically all activity is good activity. As I keep saying through DOdaily and through Do Running and what we've been doing through lockdown, we're expanding a lot more, not away from running, because there's always going to be a link to running, because that's my passion, that's where all this came from, but the encouragement now is to take part in whatever makes you happy, and whilst running, for me, I can get out there, it makes me fit, we all know it makes us strong, and it's one of the best exercises we can do in terms of strength. I think it's important to find that balance sometimes. You hear me talking a lot about walking and getting in the miles that way, and whilst I know that by walking, for example, I'm not going to get from it what I can from running, but if I do double the amount, or if I walk the same amount I would run, so if I go and walk a 5K, I'm still burning the same calories, because I'm still doing that distance. It might take twice as long, but I'm still doing that. And we spoke a lot in terms of cycling. Cycling can burn nearly as many calories as running. If you find tougher routes, if you go up the hills and find the trails and such things, something that's just going to test you a little bit. The Pilates and yoga, I think, are really important. There's a lot more sort of focus on them these days, and if that's something you enjoy, for well-being in particular, taking the physical aspect out of anything, for well-being, I think it's really important to find that balance. If you're not getting too much from your running right now, it might be a case of mixing it up. If you have got a goal with the running, it's a bit trial and error, isn't it? If you want to complete a marathon in 4 hours, then you might need to do more running. But if you're just running because you're used to running but not got a particular goal, there's no reason you can't balance that off with some different activities, and then when you pick up a goal again, perhaps when races come in the future or other events, you can pick up the mileage and start sort of pounding the pavements again, as we love to do. I just think all those things and the things, Pilates and yoga and such things, the things I'm kind of thinking about and thinking how they could impact me more. And I'll perhaps do more on these in the future. I just think it's important to remember that get as much as you can from what you like doing. And if they're things you're starting to enjoy, you're going to enjoy everything. One positive action leads to another, just like me getting up early. I know by doing that, it's put me into that routine. If you get up and do a yoga class and that makes you then want to run later in the day or go out on the bike or do a different class, that's absolutely fantastic. That's perfect. All these things can only complement. They can't hinder what you're doing. Like I say, the only time it might sort of hinder is if you've got a target in mind and you're wanting to really sort of build the miles for an ultra or a marathon or speed work. Then running is always the best way. But other than that, it's about choice and your choice of activity and what you want to take part in and what you love doing. That's the most important thing. Being happy. What I'm learning more and more all the time is being happy whilst doing activity is so much better going forward. I've done activity in all sorts of frames of mind, and I can find this kind of determination. Now, I guess like I have done at the start of this week, where I've been feeling a bit fed up, but I've still managed to get myself out there and do it. But when you're happy, you're already planning the next one. You're already thinking, what can I do next? How can I get a bit more from it, and how can I eat better, or how can I drink better? All these changes I've made recently. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight into my thinking on that. Like I say, it's perhaps something I'll do a bit more on in the coming weeks and do a bit more research on, particularly the yoga side of things. I've touched on that a few times, and I have tried it, but it's I didn't quite get on with it the first time, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give up there. So look out for that. Speaking of eating, I think when Simon posted his questions in today into the Do Running WhatsApp group, he was a little bit hungry. It was mid-morning. He was perhaps getting a little bit peckish because it seemed to have a bit of a food theme to it. But I'll come to those slightly in a minute. He asked me a question first of all: where's my least favourite place to run, and would I make an effort to go there despite? I think everybody who lives locally to Do Running and who knows the Do Running community knows we've got a place where I've actually just walked around, which is amazing, called Home Pier Pond, and it's got a large regatta lake for rowing on. And we affectionately call it That Lake. We spoke about this a couple of times. I spoke with Mark Dennison a couple of weeks ago. It's an absolutely horrendous place to run around. It's always windy. It's long. It's actually 5K. It's just up and back. So it's really, really tough. It seems like the wind's in your face. It's a real mental challenge. But because I hate it so much, I actually love going around there. It's that mental challenge that gets me. And sometimes that's the things, call me a sadist, call me whatever, that's the things that kind of spur me on. I did my first 10 miler for such a long time, for 6 months, a week last Sunday, and part of it, the 6th, 7th and 8th mile was on that lake when I was really tiring, really struggling, really sort of low on energy levels, and just getting through those straights, battling against the wind's really tough. But I always go back there. I can't help myself. It is really tough. What I will tell you though, there's also one of my favourite races, and I'm an ambassador for the race, is the Robin Hood Half Marathon, which is run locally here in Nottingham. Again, it's cancelled this year. It's actually due to be next week. And we are doing, through the Do Running community, we are doing a virtual kind of event to sort of compensate our members and working to support a local charity, Improving Lives Nottingham. But a little story about that. On my first Robin Hood Half Marathon, I trained really well. I'd got into running in the April, and fully into running in the April. And people kept saying to me, do the Robin Hood Half Marathon, and I was really reluctant until I'd ran 10K, and I think it was mid-July, and I'd got the 10K, and I committed to the race. I signed up, and I trained up to 11 miles because I wanted on the day to be able to go and run 13.1 miles, further than I've ever run before. I have this massive achievement of completing the half marathon and doing well, and I was probably a bit fitter then than I am now, to be honest. But I managed to do this. I managed to do 10 miles in a really decent time. My target was, outwardly, it was less than 2 hours. But inwardly, I thought I could do around 150. And I got to 11 miles. It's a place Simon will know, so this is the reason for the story. Abbey Bridge. I got to 10 or 11 miles, the furthest I ran before, and I absolutely blew up. And I think part of that as well was because I knew I was going to get within 2 hours. I was doing really well. I was 10 miles within an hour and a half, and I got to Abbey Bridge, and it just all fell to pieces. I ended up walking much of the last couple of miles, and I actually did it in 1:59:59. But my point with that is every time now I run over Abbey Bridge, every time I run Abbey Bridge, Castle Boulevard, this 11-mile stretch in the Robin Hood Half Marathon, one of my favourite races, my home race, the one I'm an ambassador for. That's quite hard to say. It just blows my mind. I can't do it, whether it's a training one, whether it's with friends, whether it's actually another Robin Hood. It's just so hard to run. And I think sometimes it's that thing is, if you have a bad experience the first time, it really sort of gets inside your head and you have to kind of beat it somehow. And the only way I do it with that lake is to keep going back. Perhaps I should run that bit of Abbey Bridge and Castle Boulevard a lot more to try and beat those demons with it and actually finish off a Robin Hood half marathon how I feel I should, and try and get a PB at it one of these days. But that's the way I am. That's the way I tackle these things. I definitely go back if I feel something's beating me. Somebody messaged me the other day, and they said they'd not been running for a while. They thought they might have COVID, and they've been struggling a bit recently, and what could they do rather than activity and things? And I suggested a few things, and I explained about the non-drinking, and the person said to me, why? Well, they said to me they couldn't do the not drinking. And my response to that was, the reason I didn't drink for 100 days is that because that is my hardest challenge to date. And they said, what, after some of the things you did? Yes, because I really enjoy that extra little bit of indulgence. I really enjoy the social side. I really enjoy the celebrations after running, and I just like a drink or two, or 14. No, not that many. But you know what I mean? I like to do that, and it's really important to me to be able to. So this was one of the hardest challenges, and that person actually messaged me back and said, I actually love that reason why you're doing it. And I thought, well, that just proves what it's about, just trying things, that pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. I'm always doing that. And and it was great that somebody else could see me doing that and understood why I'd taken on that challenge, because I firmly do believe that's my toughest challenge. So I suppose it just boils down to a bit of determination and keep sort of pushing your way through things. If you feel they're getting the better of you, give them a go. Simon himself's pretty epic at some of the things he does, bike rides to Amsterdam and all-night ultras and things like that. So I know he's got plenty of determination. Back to the food thing. There was a couple of questions he popped on. I'm sure he's having a bit of a laugh, but like I say, anything goes. It's all a bit of fun, It's all a, his first one was, where do you stand on the pineapple on pizza debate? Love pineapple on pizza. When you put that in the group, there was already people throwing up, I think. But I actually love it. The cold pineapple on the warm pizza is amazing. Actually, I'll let you into another, it's not a secret, but another little thing I like, which people go, ooh, that's disgusting. I actually like tuna on a pizza. Tuna flakes. Really, really enjoy that. So definitely in the pineapple camp with pizza. What's yours, Simon? And then he said, what's my favourite cheese? Well, I love cheese as well. Not all cheeses, mainly the boring stuff, But I do like a cheese and wine night, just when you're indulging again, when you want to treat yourself that little bit and just not cook or not do too much and just enjoy a bit of cheese and wine and grapes. I really, really enjoy that from time to time. So Don't do it very often for obvious reasons. Cheese is really fattening. Not drinking at the moment, but perhaps next week I could get involved in that. So definitely looking forward to something like that. But yeah, so there's the questions, guys. I thought there was a good mix again there. Hopefully, I've been able to pass on a bit of wisdom, bit of information about what I'm all about. You know, just little tips. The thing I say there about determination and the Robin Hood and that lake. You know, they're all important things. And what I started with, it's really important to realise what works for you. And it's easy to forget once you get out of routine, but getting up early for me definitely did the trick. You can see the video is quite a long one today. It's not a problem. Got plenty to talk about. What I'm going to do there is I'm going to use one of Simon's questions to use as this week's throwback question. Basically, he asked me, where's my least favourite place to run, and would I make an effort to do it? What I'm going to say to you guys is, what is your favourite event? What is your favourite event to do, and why? Do you know, I just think sometimes I'll do an event like Robin Hood, hated it the first time, went back again. Whether it's running or cycling or triathlons or walking or a walk even, what's your favourite thing to do? Time and time again, to try and beat yourself, to try and progress, to try and the determination you need to keep pushing yourself on and keep getting through it. So that's this week's throwback question. I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. If you have, please like and share. You know, it's really, really important. Might sound like a stuck record a little bit, but it's really important for people to tune in to enjoy what I'm trying to do here and to get involved in the Do Running community. That's all we're here for, that little safe space to answer silly questions, you know, to pass on bits of information about what activities are available and touch on some of the more serious subjects as and when required. So until tomorrow, hopefully this weather maintains itself. It's been amazing today. I'm looking forward to relaxing a little bit, but I'll be up early, wake up to walk, find myself at a country park with a view, not too far away. So if anyone can guess, please have a go. But whilst the weather's still nice, I think it'll be a nice place to get to. After that, it's going to be autumn, and I'm starting to feel that in the mornings too. So that's not a bad thing. Some of the amazing places I've been to, I can revisit. So until tomorrow, guys, just doing it.